So the way AB5 reads is everyone's an employee. I'm not quoting exactly.
Okay.
Everyone's an employee unless they meet all of these three criteria,
Okay.
A, B, and C. So the first one is that how much control the employer has over that individual. If the employer is saying, here's when you report to work, here's where you report to work, here's what you dress, here's your business card, here's how you do the work, that looks more and more like an employee. So control is the first criteria.
Can I dive into the control piece a little bit? You said looks, acts, and walks like an employee, and are there ways to sort of, circumvent the? You talked about business cards. What if on the business card it says outside consultant and maybe an email address that is not the normal email address? Are there ways to sort of work around?
Well, certainly on those things, you could call them out specifically and say, you're a representative of as outside party. But it really comes down to how much control and direction is the company giving that individual.
And it's the actual behavior. So if you had a contract that said, I will not do this, I will not do that, that contract is not really enforceable if you are actually requiring them to be there at 8:00 for the Monday morning sales meeting.
Right. It's practice, not policy, that really carries more weight.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's
control.
the A.
Okay.
B, which is probably the most concerning to me, is the employee or the individual doing things that are core to the business. If I'm doing things that the business is in business to offer to give their clients, then I'm not a contractor. I'm an employee under the law. And then the third
Can I dive into that one a
Sure,
little bit? Because
yeah.
let's say there's a company that has, so you are an outsourced HR person, and I have an HR person in-house, and I subcontract out to an HR person as a subcontractor. That's legal if they're a real company, but if they're just a person that didn't have their own business, it's not? I mean, how could you do an outsource on human resources?
The good news is easily.
Okay.
Because, for example, in Haney Biz, you are not in the business to offer HR services.
Oh, gotcha.
So under the B criteria, I'm not doing work that is core to your business.
Okay, that's like a support function, if you will. Okay, so
Yes.
support functions are deemed okay to sub out or use a subcontractor for. But things like if I'm in the business of putting on a podcast and I brought somebody in here to help me with my podcast, that could be a no-no, a gray area.
It could be.
Yes.
And by the way, HR consultants are part of the exempt criteria because we have a really big lobby as well. But the C of those three criteria, and by the way, they have to meet all three of these to be considered an independent contractor. So C is, does that individual have a regular business where they're servicing more than just one client?
Okay.
And it's an ongoing sort of business.
That's helpful. So if I had, let's say I was having somebody help me with my newsletter and they were a professional writer and they wrote for all kinds of people and they helped me, type up my newsletter or something. That's okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So I'm going to sort of repeat it back. Because ABC, but A stands for control. Okay. This is a little confusing for me. So A is the control. B is the what again? I'm sorry.
Core to your business.
Core to your business, right? Core to to what you sell, what you do for your business. And then the C is?
The C is that person an ongoing business entity?
Okay, so they do business with other people, other customers. Which of these three do you feel like is like the most problematic?
Well, I think, and again, you have to hit all three in order to cross the line. But I certainly think doing things that are core to the business, it is just so hard. And again, when you're a startup company, you need to have people who can help you deliver and bring in revenue and do what you're in the business to do.